Hello. Today we're going to talk about the Airbnb switchover process. The switchover process is to link a booking.pal property ID to an existing Airbnb listing ID. So this means that the properties already exist on the channel and we are only going to connect to them. To start the process, we need to click on Airbnb. Then we have to click on Yes because, as I previously mentioned, in a switchover process, the properties should already exist on the channel and therefore an account already exists as well. So we're going to click on Yes. Then we have to select one of these cancellation policies. Once the cancellation policy is selected, we can click on Start Connection Process. Then we will be automatically redirected to the step 2 authorization. You don't have to worry about the step 1 because the step 1 is only instructions on how to create an Airbnb account. However, in this case, we don't need to worry about it because it's already created. The step 2 is the authorization, or in other words, it is the process to link a booking.pal PM's account to the PM's Airbnb account. There's another video in this guide where I will be giving you some tips on how to verify that an authorization process on Airbnb has been correctly done. However, the steps are pretty simple. We just need to click on Authorize, and then we will be redirected to an Airbnb website. In this Airbnb website, we would need to enter the PM's Airbnb credentials, and then finally, we just need to accept the connection. Once the authorization is completed, one of the ways that we can verify that it has been correctly performed is because all of these instructions will disappear and it would look something like this. So this means that the authorization was correctly done. Before we move to the next step, I would like to let you know that if you had a previous channel manager connected to the Airbnb account, you first need to remove the connection to that channel manager. So you first need to remove the connection to the previous channel manager, and then you can perform the authorization process. There is another video as well that will show you how to disconnect a previous channel manager. But well, once the authorization is completed, we can go to the next step. The next step is gather. So in this step, we will see the instructions on how and where to gather the Airbnb listing IDs that we will need to perform the switchover or connection. There is another video as well where I show in detail from which section of Airbnb you can take these listing IDs from. Here in the wizard or onboarding tool, we also have the instructions, but if you feel that the screenshots are too small, that's why we also have a video where I will be showing you from where you can gather these Airbnb listing IDs. Once you gathered all of these Airbnb listing IDs, we can go to the next step. The next step is the validation, but in this case, for switchovers, we can skip it. Why? The validate step will validate that the property meets all the minimum channel content requirements. However, in the case of a switchover, the properties, they already exist on the channel. So we don't have to worry about the content because the content already exists on the channel. That's why we can skip this step of the validation. And we will just click on next. Now, in step 5, for switchovers, please make sure to click on the Connect tab. In this tab is where we are going to perform the mapping or the connection between the booking file property ID and the Airbnb listing ID. In order to do this mapping, the first thing that we need to do is select the property. Then we have to enter in here the Airbnb listing ID that we previously gathered in step 3. And then we just have to select the synchronization type. We have 2 synchronization types. And what do they mean? So limited means that we are going to push only rates and availability, taxes and fees, and cancellation policy. So everything that has to do with a quote, we will be pushing over to the channel. In the case of a limited synchronization type, we won't be able to push static content like images or descriptions, for instance. If we want to get all of this content updated on the channel, then we will need to select a full or everything synchronization type. So this means that we will be able to push literally everything. So images, descriptions, house rules, amenities, rates and availability, and so on. Once we select the synchronization type, we need to click on Save. And then we can go to the next step. On the next step, we can now open or close the property. So once we completed the mapping on step 5, we will now be able to open the property. In order to open the property, we just need to click on Request to Open. Then we will see that the status will change to pending channel approval. And this can take between 5 to 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, either the property will get opened or we will receive an error message. If the property gets opened, the toggle will change to a bright blue color and we will see here Close Property. This means that because the property is open, the next possible action is to close it. So if you ever need to close it for whatever reason, you can just come in here, click on the toggle again, and the property will get closed. Actually, here you will see, if you want to close it, you will see that the toggle will go back to gray. And here it will say Request to Open. However, if the property couldn't get open because the channel gave us an error, then you will see something like this. So the toggle will be gray again. Here it will go back to Request to Open and you will have the error message next to the property. You can click on this and you will see the error message that the channel is giving us. Finally, once the property is open, then just click on Finish. And this is pretty much the whole onboarding process for Airbnb switchovers. Thank you very much for watching this video.